Okay, let's move on to Module 55, which is the last module in this chapter, Chapter 17. And we're going to look at positive and negative social behavior. And the two questions we're going to answer in this module, one is why are we attracted to certain people, and what progression do social relationships follow? And the second question is what factors underlie aggression and pro-social behavior? So the first thing I want to look at is liking and loving, interpersonal attraction, and the development of relationships. So let's talk about interpersonal attraction first and give a basic definition. Interpersonal attraction is a close relationship that you would have with someone, where you have positive feelings for others and liking and loving them. And there are four important factors that go along with developing this type of interpersonal attraction that you have with someone, more than an acquaintance, right? A close relationship. One of those is proximity. Makes sense. You're more likely to develop an interpersonal relationship with someone who is close around you versus someone who lives, 50, 10, 25, 100 miles away. One is mere exposure, or two, excuse me, is mere exposure. You're more likely to have an interpersonal attraction with someone that you've come in contact with, that you've been exposed to. That's basic common sense, right? You can't have an interpersonal relationship with someone that you've never met. So mere exposure is a second one. Third, similarity. You're more likely to have an interpersonal relation or an interpersonal attraction to someone who is similar to you, whether that is similar beliefs, similar standards, whatever that similarity could be. That could be a whole plethora of different things. And then the fourth one is physical attractiveness. You're more likely to have an interpersonal attraction to someone that is physically attractive as opposed to someone who's not physically attractive. And I know this kind of goes against what society says, but when you first meet someone, you have nothing else to base it on other than physical attraction. You know nothing else about that person. Now, that's not to say that you may be attracted to someone, and then the more you get to know them, no matter how physically attracted to you are, to them you are, you do not want an interpersonal relationship with that person, right? In the same way, the opposite. Someone may not be as physically attractive, but the more you get to know them, the more you like them, and then you do want to have this interpersonal or close relationship with them. We also take into account the reciprocity of liking effect, a tendency to like those who like us. Remember, that's that reciprocity, tit for tat. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Well, the reciprocity of liking effect is your tendency to like people who like you. Again, common sense. That should go without saying. Next is friendship and social networking. Now, this will all come up at once, but we're going to go through each one. So the newest forms of friendship are found in social networking, and that should go without saying, right? There's social media, there's TikTok, there's Instagram, there's Snapchat, all these different kinds of social media accounts that you can have. And it's the newest form of forming friendships. You may form friendships with people on social media that you have never even met. So that could kind of go against that proximity issue that we talked about in the previous slide. Young people especially use social network sites to keep in touch with friends, but also to develop their identities by shaping their images in new and different ways. This is so important for the younger generation. I don't know how old each of you are, but definitely more important for a younger generation than, an older generation. The overuse of developing friendships on social media can be detrimental when it takes time away from intimate face-to-face interactions. There is still something to say about meeting up with someone face-to-face and having an interaction with them versus an interaction across a computer screen. And then additionally, because others' posts tend to skew positive, observers can feel like their own lives are deficient in comparison. We only put the best stuff up on Instagram and up on Facebook. We tend not to show the negative stuff of our lives. And so, young people are constantly looking at all of these great things happening to other people, and it makes them feel worse about themselves because they are not doing those great things. What you have to keep in mind, though, is that these people that are posting these things also have negative things occurring in their lives. We just aren't aware of them because they're not going to post that out there. They're not going to hang out their dirty laundry for everyone to see. So that's interpersonal or close relationships, which could or may not include a love relationship. That could be a friendship. That could be more than a friendship. Excuse me. The next thing I want to talk about, though, is a love relationship. So how do I love thee? Let me count the ways. Love is not simply a greater quantity of liking, right? And a lot of people think that the more I like you, the more I am likely to love you. But that's not what it is. It's not simply a greater quantity of liking. It is a qualitatively different psychological state. It's not quantity, it's quality. Love is a psychological state. It is not known by numbers and quantifiable. You can have different types of love. One type of love is a companion or a passionate or romantic love. I was jumping ahead to companion love, which is next. But a passionate or romantic love. This is that state of intense absorption in someone that includes intense physiological arousal, where you are physically getting turned on by the person, psychological interest, and caring for the needs of another person. That is the romantic, passionate love. Now, you may also have companionate love. Sometimes you can have companionate and passionate love with the same person. Sometimes you may have companionate love, but not passionate love. Okay? Companionate love is the strong affection we have with those people with whom our lives are deeply involved. Now, one of the leading researchers in liking and attraction and love is Robert Sternberg. And he proposed what is known as this triangulation theory of love. Tri meaning three, right? So this triangulation theory of love, Robert Sternberg developed. And the three parts of that triangulation theory of love, one of those is decision and commitment. The initial thought that one loves someone and the longer term feelings of commitment in order to maintain the love. So on the one side, you have the decision, I really love this person, and do I want to spend a long-term lifetime commitment with them? That's one side of the triangular theory of love. Another side is the intimacy component, the feeling of closeness and connectedness that you have with that individual. And then the third side is the passion component, the motivational drive relating to sex and physical closeness and romance. Now, these three components combine to produce the different types of love. On the next slide, I'm going to show you a figure that kind of shows you this triangular theory of love. The three main components: intimacy, passion, and decision commitment. Okay, so this is figure 1 in module 55. You can see, right, that we have those three different types of love. The intimacy, the passion, and the decision commitment. Those are the 3 points. Right at the top, we have liking, which is intimacy. We have in the bottom left, infatuation, which is the passion. And in the bottom right, we have the empty love, which is decision and commitment. Now, if you take the infatuation and the liking, you have a romantic love. That is intimacy and passion. If you take between liking and empty love, you have intimacy plus decision and commitment. And then across the bottom, if you take the infatuation and the empty love, that is the passion plus the decision commitment. Then that's a fatuous type of love. So you can see that these three different, each side of the triangle, the three main components can bring up all these different types of love: a romantic love, a companionate love, and a fatuous love. And then in the middle, for that consummate love, that is all three of those combined. Okay, all three of those combined. But this is what Robert Sternberg came up with this triangular theory of love. Now, figure 2, this is really interesting to look at. Across the bottom first, it says, although love may be an important factor in choosing a marriage partner, if you live in the United States, other cultures place less importance on it. So in the United States, yes, loving someone is one of the major factors in whether or not you're going to marry them. In other cultures, love may not even play into that. There are fixed marriages, there is income, there's all kinds of different things that can play into it. Love may not even be a factor. So 3 different cultures that we're looking for. We're looking at the United States, we're looking at China, and we're looking in South Africa at the Zulu, okay? So desired by females in the United States, important: mutual attraction, emotional stability, dependable character, pleasing disposition, education, and intelligence. That's what females are looking for. What males are looking for in the United States: mutual attraction, emotional stability and maturity, dependable character, pleasing disposition, education, and intelligence. Great. Now, in China, what females are looking for: they're looking for a male with emotional stability and maturity, a desire for home and children, good health, and then education and intelligence. What males are looking for in a female partner, the first one is good health. Second, desire for home and children. 3, chastity, which means that they've had no prior sexual intercourse, relationships. And 4, mutual attraction and love. Now, whenever it comes to South Africa Zulu, females are looking for in males a dependable character, an emotional stability and maturity, a pleasing disposition, good health, and mutual attraction with love. Males are looking for emotional stability and maturity. 2, that they are a good cook and housekeeper. 3, they have a dependable character. 4, they have a pleasing disposition. And 5, that they have good health. Nowhere in here does mutual attraction and love play a part for males looking at females. And that is the only place for that, besides with females looking for males. There does not have to be mutual attraction or love that they're looking for in that. So that just shows you cross-culturally where love plays a part. Now, if we look at figure 3, this is between heterosexual couples and same-sex couples. Couples are considerably more likely to meet online today than what couples were for earlier generations, a change that holds true for heterosexual as well as same-sex couples. Now, you can see heterosexual couples on the left, same-sex couples on the right. Across the bottom is the years that couples met, right? And then percentage of who met this way. So you can see right here across the top, this is where they met through friends, or they met in college, they met in a bar, a restaurant, a family, they met online, they met in church, they met with coworkers. And you can see how that is really just so interesting, you know, for same-sex couples as well as heterosexual couples. Okay, I want to change gears a little bit. I want to go away from talking about love, and I now want to talk about aggression and pro-social behavior. So